we hit 5,000 subscribers, and I mean, a big thanks to Falling in Reverse fans. I know you guys were a big push to that 5,000 mark. But we had planned on doing an Ask Me Anything. So we've gotten a couple of comments already. Some questions have been asked. So if you want to, below in this video, you can just start it out by saying Ask Me Anything or AMA, and then your question. And we'll try to get to as many of those as possible in an upcoming video.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Arsenic and Espresso. I am Alice Arsenic. I don't think I introduced us on the last one. This is my co-host Josh, and this is a podcast where we rarely drink coffee, but we always talk about metal music. And today we are reacting to more Falling in Reverse. So we did a double feature reacting to the new version, followed by the original version of I Am Not a Vampire. And this week we are going to react to the original version of The Drug in Me Is You, and then the remake, The Drug in Me Is You.
No, is Reimagined.
Reimagined.
Yeah.
The Drug in Me
is Reimagined.
Is Reimagined.
Yeah.
That's so hard.
I think you're gonna like that one too. Also, the revamped version has been on basically repeat in this house.
Yes. Absolutely cannot get enough of this song. That song, honestly, I watched our video back through and I realized like I'm just kind of sitting there through most of it, but like it is such a magnificent story that's being told. I just wanted to take it all in. But I am super amped for that song. I can't get enough of it. And so I'm really excited to listen to these ones too.
Well, and to be fair, I think we saved a lot of our commentary for afterwards and during the
second one.
Yeah, during the second one, or I guess the original version. And so unfortunately, if you guys just watched it on Ronnie's stream, which is super cool. Thanks, Ronnie, by the way. But if you guys just watched it there, all he watched was the actual reaction, and so you probably didn't see a lot of the commentary. So if that's something that interests you guys, definitely go check out the original video, listen to all our commentary there, and we'll just kind of get into this one.
I've actually been like crazy looking forward to this, so
all right.
I heard a knock upon my door the other day. I opened it to find her staring in my face. The feel of mortal stalking still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin just in case.
Oh, this reminds me. So we got a bunch of comments asking when you found out that this is the same guy from Escape the Fate.
During the editing process.
Yeah.
Like while he was editing the part where he was like, but you listened to Escape the Fate. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you know that Ronnie was the lead singer of Escape the Fate? And I was like, no.
Yeah, no, so in this song, you can hear it. And I remember listening to, because I think this is their first album, or Falling in Reverse's first album. And I remember listening to it and thinking that this was essentially a Dying is Their Latest Fashion, or Dying is Your Latest Fashion, like 2, or like a B-side.
Yeah.
Because the sound is so similar. And I was talking to somebody else, and they were talking about how that just goes to show like how impactful Ronnie was in Escape the Fate, because once he left, it was an entirely different sound, right? And then now you have Falling in Reverse, just picking up exactly where that CD left off.
Well, now hearing this, I'm going back to the revamped version of I'm Not a Vampire and hearing how his vocals have changed. Like right in this song, he is singing so much from his chest and his throat. And then in I Am Not a Vampire, he's using the strength of his diaphragm to power all of the notes. And so you don't have the
revamped version.
The revamped version. So you don't have that like pained strain that you can hear not only in his voice, but like pretty much every like emo band of the 2000s. It is that really, it's just right here. I feel like like all the vocals are coming from right here. It's really strained. There's lots of power behind every note and every like syllable in the word.
Almost like nasally too.
Almost nasally, and I feel like it would make your voice exhausted. Right?
Interesting.
Because you're pushing so much energy from one really small space when you have your diaphragm down here that can carry so much more. And so hearing how his vocal ability has grown is fantastic. It's amazing to hear that evolution in his skills.
Yeah.
Because like he's a talented singer in their old music.
Right.
But now you hear the refinement.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful full circle moment.
All right. You ready?
Yes. Do you know what they do to me in prison?
My body's tremble as it shivers down my spine. Adrenaline kicks in, shifts into overdrive. Your secrets keep you sick, your lies keep you alive. Snake eyes every single time you roll with crooked dice. Laugh out the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house.
Now, I'm no lawyer, but if you are being interrogated by a cop and they start doing that to you, that is coercion.
Hire a lawyer.
Get a lawyer. Anything you say should not be admissible in court if you've been coerced into your statements. Anyway.
Pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet don't fail me now. I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here. Trying to consume the drug in me is you. And I'm so high on misery. Can't you see? I got these questions always running through my head. So many things that I would like to understand. If we are born to die and we all die to live, then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts? Laugh out the darkness as it tries.
So yeah, when we go over the lyrics, there's a ton of lines that are like contradictory, like but they complement each other sort of stuff. So I think that was like might have been his focus when writing the song was
The
a lot of those
hypocrisy of living.
kind of like oxymorons and stuff. Yeah, pretty clever.
So point of living life if it just contradicts. Laugh out the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet don't fail me now. I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here. Trying to consume the drug in me is you. And I'm so high on misery. Can't you see?
I wish we all still were.
Bring it back. It's been a few years. We can bring it back.
Yes.
I've lost myself. You tried to reach me, but you just can't help me. So long, goodbye. You try to save me, it won't work this time. 'Cause now I've lost my fucking mind. And there's no fucking time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here. Trying to consume the drug in me is you. And I'm so high on misery. Can't you see? Oh, can't you see? Can't you stay?
Everyone's like, where'd he go? An escape convict now.
Yeah, so that one just brings me back for sure.
Yeah. Do you want to go straight into the second one, or do you want to talk lyrics now? What do you want?
Maybe we talk lyrics now and then go into the
And then go into the second one?
Yeah.
The Drug in Me and You is the title track of Falling in Reverse's debut album, comparing romantic longings with those of drug users is a classic trope in popular music, going back to songs like 1973's Love Jones or 1932's You're Getting to Be a Habit with Me. Considering that love actually does cause the production of mind-altering chemicals, perhaps this is unsurprising. Okay, The Drug in Me is You. I've said this a few times before. I apologize in advance if these lyrics are incorrect. I'm just reading what the internet is telling me. Okay. I heard a knock upon my door the other day. I opened it to find death staring in my face. The feel of mortal stalking still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin just in case. My body's trembling, sends shivers down my spine. Adrenaline kicks in, shifts into overdrive. Your secrets keep you sick. Your lies keep you alive. Snake eyes every single time you roll with crooked dice.
I like that one.
I felt the darkness as it tried to pull me down, the kind of dark that haunts a 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts. I shook the hand of doubt, running from my past. I'm praying, feet don't fail me now. I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here. Trying to consume the drug in me is you, and I'm so high on misery, can't you see? I've got these questions running through my head, so many things that I would like to understand. If we are born to die and we all die to live, then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts? I felt the darkness as it tried to pull me down, the kind of dark that haunts a 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts. I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying, feet don't fail me now. I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here. Trying to consume the drug in me is you, and I'm so high on misery, can't you see? I've lost myself. You tried to reach me, but you just can't help me. So long, goodbye. You tried to save me. It won't work this time, because now I've lost my fucking mind, and there's no fucking time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here. Trying to consume the drug in me is you, and I'm so high on misery, can't you see? Oh, can't you see? Can't you see? I feel like, based off the revamped version of I Am Not a Vampire, based off these lyrics, I feel like the reimagined version of this song is going to be very artsy and elaborate.
Well, the lyrics themselves are very
they're pretty deep and they're pretty dark.
I was gonna say more like imagery
yes.
driven. Like there's a lot of imagery that you get from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, almost every line has.
Very excited to see. I'm also excited to hear how his vocals sound.
True, and I didn't realize it until just now when I was thinking about it that this song I think is all cleans. Which is something that I never really paid attention to because I like some screams. But this song I don't think had any screams in it.
Nothing really like prominent anyway.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So let's just go right into the reimagined version.
All right. Ready?
Yeah. So ready. Love it already. Yes.
You're a sucker for it.
I heard a knock upon my door the other day. I opened it to find her staring in my face. The feel of mortal stalking still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin just in case.
The whole mood of the song is completely different. Yep.
My body's trembling, sends shivers down my spine. Adrenaline kicks and shifts into overdrive. Your secrets keep you sick, your lies keep you alive.
Such a good line.
Snake eyes every single time you roll with crooked dice. I felt the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts a 100-year-old house.
Okay, just before it gets to the chorus. The I Am Not a Vampire revamp did the same thing in that, whereas the original version, and I think it has to do with like the time period, the genre that it was written in, it is in your face the whole time. And the the revamped and this reimagined version, they ride this wave, and there's a swell of emotion behind it, and it takes you on a little bit more of a journey versus just having it in your face the whole time from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And it has a different kind of power behind it because of that.
Because it pulls you all the way in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because it really plays on your emotions. The swelling of the instruments, it truly it pulls on your emotions even if you don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
It makes you feel sad or just like it takes you from low points back down.
Yeah.
A little bit more intensely than the original versions do. And like I said, for I Am Not a Vampire, it's not that there's something wrong with the original version, especially for the time that it was written in. It's a great song and it fits exactly what was intended.
Yeah.
And seeing these recreated versions of these songs, it's just, I feel like we're getting to see his growth as a musician, the growth of the band as artists.
Well, and somebody said in the comment on our last one is that he was working on doing, or I guess the rumor was that he's working on doing it with a bunch of the older songs and putting out like a whole album, which I think would be incredible.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. I think it's really interesting to see how the same song affects the songwriter differently. How many years later is this?
Yeah.
Like 15 years later?
Yeah.
Like, and it means something different to him now than it did then.
The same lyrics, same, you know, but it's, portrayed in a way different way.
Yes. I love it.
That's
okay.
cool.
That's all.
Okay.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
The kind of dog that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts. I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm
I love when he
praying
goes to that
feet.
falsetto.
Don't fail me now. I lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time.
I always think that there's going to be like a crazy drop right there.
I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume. The drug in me is you.
I have chills
And
over
I'm
my whole
so
body right now.
high on misery. Can't you see? I've got these questions always running through my head. So many things that I would like to understand. If we are born to die and we all die to live, then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts? I felt the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts. I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet. Don't fail me now. I've lost my goddamn mind.
Also, because of the way that this song has, like you said, pulled you in, his screaming vocals that he had just a little bit of, they mean a whole lot more when you're listening to it, right?
Like it brought tears to my eyes,
Right.
Because I feel like we're all experiencing something really intense
A
together.
whole lot of emotion
Yeah.
instead of just like screaming because you're upset, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume. The drug in me is you. And I'm so you stay?
It's just so emotional. I'm like on the verge of tears now. I don't even know how to like formulate my thoughts. But just like with the first song we watched, with I Am Not a Vampire, the original version, it is angsty, it is in your face, it is busy, it is loud, it is a loud visual. And it's very nostalgic now for the time that it came out.
Yeah.
Right. And these rewritten versions of these songs, they pull on something completely different now.
Yeah.
And I think part of it has to do with the fact that now we are all adults who have experienced some really different things compared to what we were angry about as teenagers. And so the exact same lyrics, especially presented in a different way, mean something different than they did before.
Yeah.
And it's really powerful and it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for a cello. I'm a sucker for classical piano. Yeah. First of all, I know I keep going back to his vocals, but when he gets into that falsetto, there's a like a sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable. There's okay. When he hits into the falsetto of his voice, I feel like there's a vulnerability there, and it does pull on your emotions a little bit differently. That paired with the visuals of the snow and the dancers and the circle of cellos, like it pulls on a different set of emotions now as an adult who has experienced other things than what I did when I was like 16, 17. Right?
Well, and I think going through it, I mean, the first one that they did is like an iconic. It is that angsty post-hardcore metalcore, like to a T, right? And I love that stuff. And that stuff hits so hard, but only after like you've examined the lyrics a couple of times, you've listened to it a few times. But the way that it's portrayed in the second version, like you only have to listen to it once to really get the full effect of the song. Yeah. And I think that's so much happening. More I don't know, it turned it just from a good song into like freaking masterpiece. Yeah. So like
it delves into that storytelling. I know I compared it to Cradle of Filth before, that it just has this other layer that you don't see often in music. Not that other musicians like aren't deep with what they do, but there's just something different in songs like this and songs like I'm Not a Vampire revamped. And I don't even know exactly what it is.
An extra layer.
It's an extra layer that just, it creates something different in the viewer. And I do think a big part of it, for myself anyway, is watching music videos from when I was 14, 15 years old compared to now as an adult.
Yeah.
Who, like I said, has experienced some things and has experienced life.
Yeah.
And gone through some shit. Like, you know, like I thought I knew stuff back then.
Yeah.
And I thought I was righteous in my anger back then.
Right.
And now I'm just like, God, you were an idiot. You have no idea. You have no idea what the world is like. And so seeing this, it's almost like a breath of fresh air to see this growth.
Yeah.
And to see the same evolution that we experience in our daily lives, to see it in the music we enjoyed as teenagers.
Yep.
It's really amazing. It's really powerful, and it makes me very emotional, and I do feel like I'm going to cry.
I know. I heard
teared up several times.
I heard your voice kind of, you know,
waver a little bit.
a little bit. Yep.
I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, because this was just spectacular. I really hope to see more of these remastered versions of songs from Falling in Reverse. I think this is a really beautiful way to go back to their roots, kind of.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, I mean, we've talked about this before with other bands that have transitioned to something different. And people say, oh, they're maturing their sound. When really that's not what it is. That's just sort of like a trope for like, oh, they sold out.
Yeah.
Whereas this is truly a matured and like remastered sound.
And so refined and perfected.
I would love to see more bands that have done a similar thing, because I mean, more bands have progressed. They have, you know, the singers have gone through more vocal coaches. They've gone through stuff like that. I mean, especially, I mean, we bring up Bring Me the Horizon all the time. It would be really cool to see Bring Me the Horizon throw a new mix onto an older song. Especially like from their deathcore days. That would be dope to see something.
Well, I think it even speaks to the fact that in the early 2000s, these musicians came out and they were not taken seriously. They were looked at by society as a joke, and they weren't taken seriously as artists or musicians.
Well, and even the rest of the metal community, right? I mean, there's so many people from the metal community that's like, you know, metalcore, deathcore, post-hardcore, that sort of stuff. Like, it's the redheaded stepchild. It's not really metal. There's so many gatekeepers who say that, which that, I guess, I mean.
But for me, to kind of like round off that thought, I think it's really amazing to see this band kind of take that and throw it back in everyone's faces. It really is like a fuck you to everyone who said, not just Falling in Reverse, but just bands in general.
Yeah.
Metalcore bands of the early 2000s who were not taken seriously.
Yeah.
As musicians, as artists, and doing this and just being like, fuck you guys. Like, no, we're really good.
Yeah. Well,
like,
and I think
talent is out of control.
It's super apparent too that like that wasn't the purpose of this song either. Wasn't just to be like, oh yeah, we can do this too. It was that's where his mind is at right now. And this is the type of music that he actually wants to make right now. So
I want more of it.
Yeah.
I want a lot more of it. More cellos. All the cellos, all the time.
Cellos and piano with a little bit of screaming.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't see our first set of reactions, that will be linked below. And also prepare yourself. We will be doing our J-Metal week coming up probably just within a few days of this video being uploaded. And on that note, for a third time, thank you for watching and goodbye. Third time's the charm. What are you doing? What's happening with you?